One of the biggest misconceptions is that creating a high converting sign-up form or pop-up takes a lot of time and is very hard to do. In this video, I'm gonna prove all of these misconceptions wrong. I'm gonna bust this myth and I'm gonna show you how to create a high converting pop-up that converts 5 to 15% of your total traffic in less than 15 minutes. Let's get right into the video. Just very quickly, we're in Klaviyo. You need to go to sign up forms, create form. You're gonna create new form. You can also select some kind of pre-made template. For the sake of this video, I want to do it in 15 minutes or less. Let's just select create new form. It's gonna be fine. Let's call it mobile pop-up. I'm gonna select the main list, which is gonna be newsletter. Form type, let's create full page. It's actually pretty cool and I'm gonna show you why in a second. And click on save and design. Okay, something went wrong, which is not great. Okay, but here we are. So this is the base for the pop-up. I named it mobile, but it's not on mobile as you can see. But we're gonna fix it very, very soon. So the main things you're really gonna need is just gonna be your logo, your font and color code. That's really it. Once again, I see a lot of brands overcomplicating it. So the first step is selecting the logo. As I said before, you need it. For now, no, don't worry what it looks like. We can always adjust it. For alt text, just make the brand name. That's okay. For the button itself, this is why I said you're gonna need your brand color. You're gonna change the background. I'm gonna remove corner radius just because I don't like it. For height, you can make it, a little bit bigger. For font itself, I'm gonna select Poppins, make it a bit bigger. And actually, before I proceed, you can go to targeting and behavior. Since it's gonna be mobile only, you want to click on mobile, right? So it's mobile only. You want to select this off, so people can see outside, and right now it's full screen, so they still wouldn't be able to do it, but it's gonna matter in a second when I explain, the A/B test we're gonna run. You need to have this checked on. Then your frequency, I like to do 7 days, and then based on rules, after time delay, let's do, for example, 10 seconds, and then for a certain percentage, let's do 60%. Okay, that's it for targeting. Don't show to existing Klaviyo profiles. I also don't want it on the cart page. And then you are good. This is essentially for the settings. Just once again, checking everything quickly. And this was targeting and behavior. Once again, super quick and easy. So the first step is going to be, defining the offer. Let's say for this brand, we're going to do 10% off. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a discount. So want 10% off your first order. And now, usually the first A/B test we run is micro yes versus no micro yes. And micro yes is adding one extra step to the pop-up itself to see if it's gonna help us with the conversion rate. Another important test that we are running right now is full screen pop-up, which you can see right now, versus partial screen. Full screen pop-ups are doing great right now, so I'm gonna recommend you start with full screen pop-up and run the first A/B test being your micro yes test. So I'm very quickly gonna click on clone. I'm gonna clone micro yes. I'm gonna drag and drop it, so it's the first step. And then I'm gonna remove this. For the copy itself, let's say yes. And then you need to add another button so that they can close it. For the background color, make it transparent. For the copy itself, make it no thanks. I don't like saving, or I want to pay the full price, or whatever that might be. For the label color, make sure to change it to something that is actually visible, because as much as we want people to, submit the sign up form, we still want them to close whenever they want to, because otherwise they're gonna get annoyed, which is not something that we want to see for sure. I think it looks fine. I would make this a little bit bigger, and we need to match the font as well. So for the font, once again, select Poppins. I'm gonna unbold it as well. And for this one, we're gonna select Poppins as well. It will be bold in this case. We're gonna make the font black because it wasn't black. And for the size, we're gonna make it 30 pixels, for example, or 40 even. Yeah, I think we can make it 40, and for 10% off, I'm also gonna highlight it a little bit. It's not a flashy color, but it still looks decent. And for the logo itself, I'm gonna make it smaller because in this case, logo isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is the offer. So this is what is important. I'm gonna make the font a little bit smaller. Actually, not the font, but the height of the button. I'm gonna make it 50. Okay, actually 55 was decent. So I'm gonna make it 55. You can also make it smaller, but I think the white version is fine. Okay, so we are 5 minutes into the pop-up, and as you can see, I bet it would already convert very nicely. For the second page, you also want to make sure that the logo size is the same as on all the previous pages. So change it, and then also adjust the padding as well. So we had bottom padding 20 in this case. Let's gonna make it the same. For the copy itself, I'm gonna first of all make it black. Klaviyo is not helping me in making this a quick pop-up rundown, but okay. Pop-ins right now. Let's make it once again. Cool. The copy is like super simple. Enter your email below to get it right away. something like this. You also want to center this. I use the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-E, something like this. Then for subscribe, you don't want to be generic. It'd be like claim my 10% off instantly, right? This is how we would do it. You can also make it all caps or sentence case, for example, which would be claim my 10% off instantly, something like this. But I like the first version more. And in this option, you're not really giving them a way to close the pop-up. I mean, they still have this X in the top right corner, but overall, you want them to keep entering the data. You can actually make the call maybe a little bit bigger, right? Just so it stands out a little bit more, but you could even remove it in general. Like, I'm really believing that the copy on the pop-up should be as simple as possible, because many brands overcomplicate this and then they usually find themselves not having great pop-ups. Spacing between lines 150, that's fine. This one, let's make this one 150 as well, just for the sake of keeping, okay, maybe not. Let's leave it like it was before, just because the font is bigger there. So I'm gonna do Ctrl-Z, or maybe not, because Clever is not allowing me. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it. So let's change it to line spacing, maybe, okay, 200. Not enough, let's do 250, better, okay. So we have the first step, 10% off. Yes, I want to, no thanks. If they click yes, I want to, make sure that this says submit form, show next step. If it says no thanks, close form, and that's fine. For email opt-in, make sure that you select submit form and they should be entering to your newsletter. They should be joining it, which is fine. And then very quickly, you're gonna clone this step, SMS opt-in. Make sure you're building your SMS list as well, right from the get-go. And for the copy itself, you can usually do either if you want to get double deals, or if you want to be more specific and increase the discount. I really like to do this. You can just call it as an upgrade. So want to upgrade your discount to 15%. Or you can also make it like, how about 15%? I'm gonna make it like that. I want it to fit one line. And then you're gonna make it join our SMS list to upgrade your discount to 15% instantly. As you can see, I'm using the phrase instantly or right now quite often, and that's on purpose because I want people to be aware that it's gonna be instant, like they won't need to wait for it to happen. And then for the button itself, it's gonna be grab 15% off now, right? And then if you have an SMS list, make sure it changes this to submit from newsletter to SMS. But you're gonna also delete this block, obviously. You're gonna add the phone number block right there. You don't need the label, which is fine, it's okay. You want to make sure that you're using it for your SMS marketing. For this text, you're gonna drag it below everything, below your entire content. For the font, obviously select the font that is congruent with everything else. For the size, make it small. For example, 8, then click on edit. All of this should be centered. Then you also want to enter the company name, and then you want to link your privacy policy, right? Like, I'm not gonna do it right now because this is like my demo brand, but there would be like nature.co, for example, privacy policy, right? Something like this. You would apply this, and then for terms, it would be something similar like TOS, right? Terms of service. Okay, now we're all set. You can also increase the padding for the top padding, but usually 10 is gonna be okay. One important thing is that you want people to give an option to not make it mandatory. So like if they want to join your SMS list, like don't force them to do it. So you're gonna add a button. Once again, you're gonna make the color transparent. Label color should be black. For the button text, it would be no thanks, I'm good on text. You don't need to be cheesy there. So don't be like, I hate saving, or I don't want 50% off. Just be like, I'm fine, I want text. Like, don't push them too much because they've already, they've already given you information that you asked them for in the first place, which is fine. And you can make it like 14, for example. Obviously, for the padding, I would make it smaller. For the height, for example, as well, right? Something like this. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it needs more padding, maybe even 20. Okay, yeah, 20 padding looks decent. So once again, you can also highlight the discount, right? Using this color, just to make it a little bit different. Once again, like this is not a flashy color by any means, but you can still do it. For the padding, just make sure that, all of these sections are congruent. Once again, that they're all being the same width. So right now we want to do padding 0, padding here 0 as well. And of course, like you can adjust it as much as you want to. I'm just making it very quickly, because so far we are 11 minutes in, but the pop-up is almost ready. So this is it for the pop-up. Once again, make sure that you have SMS list there. And if they say no thanks, don't close the form, click on submit form, and they should be submitting to the email list, right? If they say no thanks, the email list or the list they submit to is newsletter. But if they decide to join the SMS list, they should be submitting to SMS subscribers. Then for the thank you page, one simple thing is just, adding your logo once again. Okay, make it to 50. And now if you're doing the discount upgrade, you can say something like, thanks for joining, right? Make it a little bit bigger. make sure that it is aligned with your entire branding as well in terms of the font and everything. Thanks for joining. Your discount code is waiting in your inbox. And then PS, if you can see it, make sure to check your promotions or spam folders, just for the sake of, being sure that people know what to do. So if your deliverability is good, chances are they won't land in the spam folder, but you still want to have it just for the sake of, better safe than sorry. Okay, this was your pop-up. Now important thing is teaser. So we want to make it get I usually like to keep it simple, so 10% off. Once again, text color, it should be all black. The font itself should be, once again, the same one that you have on the website. Now it's on the mobile. I want to make it a circle, so it's not like taking up the sticky add to cart space for product pages. Make it circle. You can also adjust the padding and everything, but right now it's fine. And yeah, this would be your offer. It's mainly important because if someone closes it, then you don't want them to, or you want them to be able to get the discount anyway. So one more quick thing, you want to make sure that the logo is the same size, so it should be 200, not 250. For the padding on the bottom, 20%. Okay, and then this is what it looked like. Now, if you're not having a discount upgrade at this step, you're just doing, for example, like, get double deals or stuff like this. You could also add your dynamic code, which then you would add right there. You would, like make it static coupon. It would be, for example, first 10 off, right? Then you would delete this part. You would make it, here is your code. And then what you would do is you would also add a button, right? Which once again would need to be congruent with your other buttons. So make sure that you copy all of the colors and everything else. Same font. For the text, it could be shop 10% off now. And for the action, you would need to go to URL and you would link to your bestsellers. So we would do discount, for example, first 10 off, redirect, collections, bestsellers. And they would click this button and go to bestsellers instantly, and they would have the discount applied. So this is how we create a pop-up in 15 minutes or less. Once again, it was super simple. All that would be left for you to do is clone this pop-up and, make it separate for desktop and target exit intent viewers only. So this was it. If you want to learn all of the fundamentals and ideas behind the pop-up and why it's gonna convert well, and essentially learn what are the key elements of high converting pop-up, watch this video, which is a complete pop-up masterclass explaining everything you need to know on how to grow your email list fast.